Hi everyone, this is my last episode of Take Charge Now for 2022. And like everyone else, I decided to do a list. My top business stories for 2022. The first is all about instability. Whether we're talking about inflation, interest rates, or market volatility. I also think a very close second is real estate. From real estate, I'd like to talk a little bit about the great resignation that moved into the quiet resignation. When it comes to corporate news, well, the biggest story to me anyway, the one that I followed, Twitter. And the fifth story is about, I'm not going to say the collapse of the cryptocurrency market, but the concern and extreme volatility of the cryptocurrency market. So let's talk about inflation. You didn't have to worry about inflation if you didn't own a home, you didn't go to the grocery store, you didn't drive a car, you didn't require health care. You get where I'm coming from. Just about every single person was impacted by inflation. We paid higher prices for just about everything. And of course, the Bank of Canada has made it very clear they would like an inflation rate of 2%. The inflation rate has remained stubbornly high, and in response to that, the Bank of Canada aggressively raised interest rates over the last year and now stands the Bank of Canada rate at 4.25%. The next meeting is on January 25th, 2023. Right now, the implied odds suggest that another 25 basis point hike will happen. But we know, and we've seen in the past, it will be data dependent. Now, when you look at interest rates and the higher they go, this has created volatility in the market. Many investors very concerned that as interest rates go higher, corporate profits will shrink and the odds of a recession increase. And as a result, when you look at a bear market for the TSX that pretty much hit on January 3rd, it had everything to do with a drop from a recent high of 20% or more. Now, when I look at the whole year, you know what? We aren't down that much. We are down roughly 10%. But extreme volatility, that might be a nice way to put it. The next story is all about real estate. And of course, as interest rates have gone higher, over the last 9 months, we have watched real estate prices pull back. Will they continue to pull back? In all probability. In fact, from the February high in the real estate market, we have watched prices drop 11.5%. The average price nationally for a home in Canada now stands at $744,000. Will it go further? Possibly. Many are in that camp that will continue to see volatility. We're also going to be watching foreclosures and defaults on payments. I'm not going to say that's a headline story just yet, but private lenders, these are individuals who have lent out mortgage money to some who might not have qualified according to the big banks' rules and regulations. They're starting to see foreclosures. They're starting to see defaults. And when it comes to that stress test that the superintendent of financial institutions put into place to ensure in a rising interest rate environment, those who took out mortgages would be able to pay them, well, for now, they're leaving that stress test as is. A different type of story that really dominated headlines over the last year, it had to do with the labor market. At the start of the year, we were talking about the great resignation. As we were trying to come out of COVID, many thought, I don't want the hustle. I don't want the long hours. I sort of am going to go on a work to rule campaign. And many left their jobs. It went from that great resignation, very publicly demonstrative, to the quiet resignation where people just said, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm going to look for something else. What I can tell you is our unemployment rate here in Canada is at 5.2%. By most standards, that's full employment. If you want to leave your job and find another job, the odds are you're likely able to do it. And when it comes to the recession, no one really cares about a recession unless they lose their job. With the unemployment rate as low as it is, the potential of a recession, even the thought of a recession to many households, just simply isn't there. Now, the next story is a corporate story. We all talked about it, Twitter. Elon Musk of Tesla $44 billion. He takes it over, starts to fire people, reorganize, change the rules up. And he also goes to the Twitter universe to get feedback on decisions that he's going to make. One was, should we bring back Donald Trump to Twitter? He was reinstated the next day. The next one will be interesting to see. Out of 17.5 million voters, when asked the question by Elon Musk, should he be replaced as the CEO? 58% came back and said, yeah, we think so. And he said he would abide by the decision. Will he? I think it's a 2023 story. And even if he does, who would replace him? But we're all going to be watching. And the final story really came up late in the year. Sure, there has been volatility in the cryptocurrency market. It is definitely an unregulated industry, and many don't fully understand it. And there is a tremendous amount of risk associated with it. When FTX was allowed to collapse, that had a knock-on effect in the industry, and many are wondering where this is going to go. I don't know for sure, but I do think it's a story to follow in 2023. I also think inflation's a story in 2023. Higher rates will be a story. Real estate will continue to be a story. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Twitter, but I think it's going to be a story, and so will cryptocurrency. So at the end of the day, what can you do to protect yourself? It's shore up your balance sheet. Make sure you're comfortable with the amount of debt that you're carrying. Have a little bit of an emergency fund. By having some money tucked aside, it might just help you get through a volatile situation just that much easier. So thank you to everyone who followed me in 2022. I did this as a bit of an experiment. I'm kind of having fun. I hope you enjoy it. And for now, yeah, I'm going to be back in 2023. Happy holidays, everyone.